Hi, it's Jeff Duncan Cyclist. I'm here with my buddy Christophe Bristiel again, who's making his way across the southern part of France, visiting all the wineries of the Richard family. He started a couple days ago up in Beaujolais, and now he's moved south. So Christophe, tell us where you are and a little bit about the place where you're standing.
Indeed, I first crossed the Rhone up in Lyon, and I made my way on the left bank all the way to Châteauneuf-du-Pape, where I stayed last night at Château-Lannert. And I crossed the Rhone again, but this time going west. I'm starting my trip across France all the way to Bordeaux at the Atlantic Ocean. I am right now sitting at the top tower of the Prieuré de Montézargues, a historic priory with the first written record going back to 1199. And this prieuré is in Tavel, the only village in France where you can only make rosé.
So what's the, we both got I think you have a bottle there, but so here we have
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more about this wine. Why only rosé, and what type of varieties go into the wine?
Well, first, the second part of your question, the grapes. Even so, technically, we are not in Provence anymore, as we just on the other side of the Rhone. We are very much in Provence. It's only a couple of minutes, literally, from Châteauneuf-du-Pape, as the crow flies, I think you say. So the grapes are very much the same as in the rest of the south of the Rhone Valley. The king here is Grenache. Here we have Grenache in the four colors of Grenache, actually. The first grapes that we picked this year on the 25th of August was Grenache Gris, gray Grenache. We have a little bit of Grenache Rose, Grenache Blanc, but of course, the main grape in Tavel, like in the rest of the south of the Rhone Valley, is Grenache. The secondary grapes are Cinsault, which is the main grape that you find in Rosé de Provence. And this is a bit of a specialty for us here in the Prieuré de Montézargues. We have a high proportion of white grapes. It's around 20% of the blend is white. And the main grape is Clairette. And to the first part of your question, why only rosé is it's difficult to know, actually, because the appellation dates back to 1936. It was actually created just the day after Châteauneuf-du-Pape. And there's probably two reasons for it. One, I would say political, in the sense that the owners at the time divided the world in two. In Tavel, you can only make rosé, whereas in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, you're not allowed to make rosé. It's red and a little bit of white. But then there is, of course, a terroir reason. The fact that here the soils are very, very sandy, and it's very, very appropriate to make light-colored wines. It's probably true to say that back in 1199, the monks didn't make rosé as we know it. They were probably making what the English call claret, so pale red wine.
Okay, so do you want to why don't we taste through this one, and then we'll move on to the Châteauneuf-du-Pape wines?
Absolutely.
So this has long been a favorite of mine, and you once told me, I believe, that there is a scale of the color that is allowed in Tavel, and if I'm not mistaken, this is on the lighter end of that scale. Is that right?
Indeed. Another peculiarity of Tavel, I believe it's the only rosé appellation in the world with a minimum color intensity, which means it's actually measured by a spectrometer. If there's any doubt, the scale is from 0 to 10, and the minimum color intensity in Tavel is 0.5. And yes, indeed, I would say that Prieuré de Montézargues is on the lighter side. It's more, you could call it more modern, as we have limited the amount of time of skin contact during maceration. Actually, in the my colleagues are still working the press of the harvest of today as we speak, Jeff, and we are on the lighter side, indeed, on the modern side, but we are very much respecting the spirit of the appellation.
But still, when compared to, for example, some of the rosés of Provence, it's quite dark as compared to those Provence.
Absolutely, some of the rosés, particularly the last few years, particularly in the US market as well as here in France, have become almost transparent, to be honest. And this is not at all the philosophy of Tavel.
No, so like I said, this has long been one of my favorites, and it's just a beautiful. You get a lot of strawberry, a little bit of maybe watermelon, but just a beautiful,
absolutely,
beautiful wine.
Absolutely, it's very cherry, crushed strawberry. You have some very interesting pivoine floral notes, and it's really a gastronomic rosé. I would say Prieuré de Montézargues Tavel is a Tavel to eat with, rather than just what we call here rosé de piscine. So a rosé where you could easily add some ice cubes in it. This is not, I think it would be very disrespectful to our Tavel rosé.
No, it's wonderful, and as we mentioned the other day with the Chateau des Tours, I think you can handle a wide variety of cuisines because there's a this is going to sound tacky, but I always think of the French word as little corset. There's a little bit of a body to it that you just
yes,
it really can handle. I mean, I think it could handle up to I think this would be great from the American perspective with grilled hamburgers, for example. I mean, just
no, for sure, absolutely. And what is amazing too with this wine is its aging capability. I mean, I've been banging my head ever since I've been working for the Richard family about trying to showcase mature Montézargues Tavel because they age really, really beautifully, as some wonderful white wines actually. Just a few weeks ago, we conducted here a vertical tasting. The estate was purchased by the Richard family in 2003. So we tasted all the vintages made since then. And the vintages, for example, like 2004, were absolutely amazing still today.
And as you know, I do a tasting of American rosés every spring, and so I have to ask
yes.
the question. So since they don't make red wine in Tavel, I'm assuming that this rosé is an intentional rosé, or what I call a true rosé. So it's not a saignée, it's not a blend of red and white.
Absolutely. I think that's a very important point you bring up, Jeff. This is not a byproduct. This is everything is made here in the vineyard, and of course during vinification, to make Tavel rosé. So vineyard management, the grape composition, the time of when we pick, all of this, and of course in the vinification, so the time on skin, the control of temperature, the amount of batonnage to bring some broadness to the wine. All of this is very, very specific to Montézargues Tavel.
And it's lovely. I mean, again, it's one of my favorite rosés, and pretty widely available, I think, in the U.S., right?
Yes, indeed.
Wine.com, does the Wine.com carry this one too?
Very much so. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, my good old friend Michael Osborne is a big fan of the property.